Hey guys, and how's it going? Today we have this Dave's hippie bus. He's come in and needs some love, and we're gonna try to attack that today. Dave had set up Safari windows in this. The Safari windows are the windows in the front that open straight out. You can kind of shut them down. The only problem with those is they have a tendency to leak. And this bus, unfortunately, does not have a garage, and he parks it outside. He tries to find a place for it in the wintertime, but if not, it stays out with a car cover. Well, those windows leaked all the time, and he ended up having to pull those back out and put regular glass and new seals in them to help stop that issue. So I wanted those for Lucy. Lucy really does not stay outside, and I would like a set of Safari windows. So I grabbed all the old stuff that was taken out of here, and it's going to go in my bus, but that is for a separate video. What we have to do today is it's got some frame issues and just a little bit of tune-up kind of parts looking things. I went over it once before and gave him a shopping list, and some of that stuff was just, you know, cap rotor points, throttle cable, set of valve cover gaskets are leaking, and inside this bag is the gas pedal rebuild. The gas pedal has like a linkage in the front, but that over time they kind of lay to the side and get kind of lame. So that's that guy. Let me get set up, we'll get her on the lift, and we'll take a look underneath it as far as what's going on with the frame. So normally I either pick it up right, I'll put it like that, right there, or right here. And of course, on the other side I think is where I remember seeing it needing some welding. And now, so you see how close those guys are together. Not terrible, but you know, you lose a little bit of the stability. So I think that right there is the hot mess that we need to try to get in and go fix. That looks like there's really not much left to it. Yeah, there's nothing left in the middle of that right there. See what I'm talking about? I don't have the lights blinking, but that guy, you can see right up into the center of it. It's like the seam has been bent down. It's probably bent down because there was just nothing holding it. I'm talking about that right there. It's folded over, and it shouldn't be. It should be straight up and down. It's like somebody jacked it up by there too. Did some damage. We're not going to get into all that. This is the area we want to fix, is that rail right there. The rest of it looks like it got sprayed down with some undercoating. It's stuck. And you can see past repairs. Someone jacked it up there too. That's probably one of those lifts that don't have the arms on them. There's just those pads, and they drove it on. They picked it up with that, I'm guessing. But it's got the same mark in the back there. Yeah, that it went four-wheeling and hit whatever it hit in the same place. In the front, it's had some patchwork on the floors. Alright. So, let's get set up, get that tire off the back corner there, and maybe do a little cleanup and see what we actually have when we start tapping on it. Make sure we don't need everything. Shall we? Let's go see what we got. So this looks like a patch that somebody else put over it. As I figured. Was for us to be nothing holding it together. Sure not quite sure what's happening there as far as that seam being bent down. actually don't think that was a patch put on there. I think it was just a crap maker. It looked like there was a weld there. That's the original paint, but there's just not much meat left there anymore. Let me get a pair of vice grips. I'm going to bend this lip back down again, and we'll see what we have on both sides. It's all the way up into here, though. Go get some pliers. Yeah, let's see if we can try bending that back down again. This is going to be one of those jobs where you just have to pick a point to stop, I think. Yeah, there's nothing there. Let's pick at it some more. A lot of times what happens too is they get a mouse nest or something in there. There you go. So that is an acorn. So that's an indication that a nest was in there. And what happens is the nesting material that's in there is what causes the rock. So it just holds moisture like a sponge and just stays wet on the inside. Ah, boy, where are we gonna start and stop? That's the question. I have a feeling we're going to go kind of like around there, up, and about 4 inches there, and build all the way down through here. I don't know if I want to get into this jack point being screwed up like it is. Maybe we'll try just squishing it back together. But it would be better if I could slice it right off, slide the metal in behind it, you know what I mean? And then, you know, make our angles and our bends and everything. So I'm going to take a little bit, I think I'm going to pick away at this. Maybe get a cutting wheel, we'll start cutting off the known bad stuff. And just give ourselves a little bit more vision. Maybe come back with a flapper disc, we'll get it down to some metal here. And see what, yeah, it's just nothing but solid rust there coming out. I get a tetanus shot every 4 years if I need it or not. Wonder why. Alright, so. Watch your toes. Flying hammers. Let's see. There's not much left of that right there anyway, so. Yeah. So usually don't look that bad. You start tapping on them, and then, unfortunately that's what happens. Guy definitely needs a little bit of love, would you say? I better give you a different angle. As you can see the carnage that we're dealing with. And you can see right there where that bend is. Let me hang this light. That bend right there is where it was folded over and you saw me pull down. I think I'm going to go with 1/8 inch plate just for sheer thickness of it, and I think it was 18 gauge is what it was originally made out of. Not positive, it's either 16 or 18. I want to say 18. So I'm going to try doing it in 2 pieces. I want to do one. I think I'm going to come from here, follow this around, and the piece I got is 3 inches tall. I'm going to scab up 3 inches there. We'll cut back till we get to good metal, and I'm going to try welding it from this side up here, and then whatever the lip is, it's going to be down here. I'm going to try welding it from this side coming in, welding it back there. So we'll rebuild this section of it first, and then we'll move to the outer section and do this piece here. But right now I want to put it back down. I'm going to reposition the lift. I want to get this post probably over 4 or 5 inches in, just to give us a little bit more room inside where we're working, now that we know what we're dealing with. So, and I got a paper doll cut out for in there in the rough shape. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Roughly that should cover all the damaged area, and then where it's folded over, it's still going to go and get laid out straight once it gets freed up from behind that wall. We'll continue on past that, and hopefully there's enough meat on this left to re-weld back to it. But somebody's already scabbed on there some metal, so that might be, siding. Nothing meaty to kind of weld to, but we'll worry about that when we get there. So I think I'm going to start with taking the plasma cutter, and we're just going to start cutting some material out of our way and getting it prepped for this one, and get a bunch of this just cut out of the way. Once this is in place, come back, we'll make a paper doll for this side and go from there. Alright, so from paper doll to a piece of metal, you see it's kind of roughly fit in. I cut through that cross member right there, sliced right through it so I can hammer this piece up. Then I took a scribe and I scribed up around where the edge is, so I'll know where to what bounds to stay within when I start cutting away. You can see the marks right there. And I think we got good metal probably all the way down in here. So that's it. I'm going to start trimming some of this away, get us back to some good material, get that kind of cleaned up, and maybe we'll get a couple tacks on this one, and then we'll start removing some material from the other side and look into that as far as trying to weld back onto that. Well, I took a cutting wheel, then a flapper disc and whatnot, and cleaned up all the areas that the scribe mark was. I gotta do a little bit more, but give you the general idea. That's kind of what we're looking at. But what I want to do is take this lip right here, because there's a big thick weld right there. I don't want to grind that all away, but I'm going to go take the piece that I have and bevel that lip all the way around, so it kind of allows it to set flat against it. I think I'm ready to make some sparks. Let me just throw some gloves on here. So I'm going to try getting it, like I said, from the inside of the rail. Then I'll go around the other side and grab it from out there. Alright, let's go. See if you can get a few tacks on it. That's a little dirty. So I think I got a few to hold it on this side. Then I'm going to go on the back side of it now. I'm going to weld the back seam all the way across and then come back and I'll take care of this. Well, it may not be the prettiest looking welds, but we're trying to get up in where I'm trying to get. I'll be happy with it. Then you can actually see right there, I'm not going to touch it because it's like 900 degrees still. That's the weld from the other side, and you can see there's about an inch difference between the two of them, so that should make that wall nice and strong again. I still have to buzz that back to that, but we're going to worry about that later. I want to finish boxing this in before I go any further with that stuff. I think I might do this in two pieces. I might do a strip down the center, and we'll build this wall like we did this side. Build that and then do a strip down the center. I'll bend it and I'll put the lip on it like it had, and then I'll probably drill holes through it, and I'll probably spot weld through the center of that, kind of make it look like the, you know, the factory seam. The factory seam that you have right here. kind of setup. I kind of dropped that back down underneath there. Hopefully it's not too dark for you guys. Lighting is not optimal. I got it on the inside of the rail here. And I think what I might do is transition to catch the outside there. The reason I am thinking that, because I don't want to get into all cutting this guy free, rebuilding this. I'm trying to stop the project. You know, I could restore the whole car. Where do I stop? So I'm trying to find an area to kind of break off and not continue on. So as far as right now, that's what I'm thinking. Something like that. I'll clean this joint up so that it gets tucked up. And this is supposed to be about a ½ inch higher than this one. And we're going to build that other lip and, you know, kind of make it look like it's supposed to. So I decided to go and put the whole thing all the way from the back side, all the way around in that area. So I just kind of cut it down some so that it can fit up through and click, you know, in and pull back. So that's how it's set up in there. I cleaned up the edges pretty good. Figure we're going to get a couple of tacks on that. And this is left proud so that when I do the last one, I can kind of grind it flat. And I'm a little proud on this half circle right here, but I don't want to start cutting this stuff away until I make the last piece, so in case I need something somewhere I can kind of, you know, borrow space. Oh, let me get some tacks on that and get the vice grips out of the way and see what she looks like. And how's that? A little easier to weld on, a little bit more room on this side. So I think we're going to go make that strip now for underneath and bend up. So I'm going to go measure that out. It's probably about an inch and a half wide. And figure a ½ inch lip we're going to try doing on this side and making that curve. I have a shrinker stretcher, but this is very thick material. I have a good feeling it's not going to work, and we'll have to do a couple of pie cuts to make the bend. We'll see though. We'll give her a shot. Why not? Go for it. Yeah, it moved in the last second. Yeah, it's off. Let's try that. I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to try hitting it a couple times. I may have to come over with a hammer and do some tapping on it here and there. But might get it. At least I put the crease in it. Alright, let's see if we could do half of it. Am I in the middle? Close enough. There we go. One more. Give me one more. Come on. You're leaving me hanging. There he goes. Go kick it over that side a little. Looks like that side just needs a little bit more. There we go. That Should be the angle we need. Go do the other half. We got to weld them back together. Make our bend. So I didn't weld them back together yet. That's our guy. It's got to go right where those little marks are. I don't know if it shows up or not. I think I got to make a bend that matches that guy. But a stretcher's not going to do it. That's just way too thick. But we might be able to do we'll put some heat in that area, on this area, and then we'll see if we can kind of bend it in the vise. What do you think? Worth a shot, right? And I think we can get success with this. I just already started nibbling on it a little bit. Seems like it wants to. Kind of guesstimating. Can you tell? Missed. I think I should try giving that a test fit before I go any further. Make sure I'm not doing something I'm not supposed to. It can go for a little more, but it doesn't look bad. Yeah, a little more. You can see how it's sitting proud still on that side. So we'll favor right where I'm marking on my finger, right where that dirt stain is. We'll hit it some more. So that's the first half already installed. I haven't ground anything down yet, but looks pretty good. And it actually worked out good that I cut it in half, because I was able to get one piece up, wedged in there, and then the other piece up, wedged in there, and then drawn back to make the seam there. These are both tapered. It doesn't show, but they're tapered to fill a weld in. And it's drilled for plug welds to the main section. This one's already been done. So we get that knocked out of there, and we'll look into see if we could save these guys with something. Well, after shot. I didn't bother grinding this side. I just sprayed it down with some brake clean. Gonna throw some black paint on it, and I got to drill 2 holes in it yet, so I got to backfill it with oil so it doesn't rust again. These guys are beat. They're you know, for a future project. Let's put it this way: there's screws in there. So I stitched back together underneath it. I got underneath here. That was taken care of. I got it all the way across, so the main structure is all tied. Looks good. Good enough. It's definitely a lot thicker than what was there. It's probably the strongest part of the bus now. As the next day, that paint's dry. I drilled the hole right there. It's kind of dark. And I'm going to just take a bunch of fluid film and do my best to get it all around up inside there. And that is going to be our rust protection for all that bare metal that's on the inside. I'm going to shoot that everywhere. Get back in there. And just a bunch of that. And that metal's so thick, that's going to be the last thing that rusts out on this. The rest of the vehicle is going to rot away before that does again. And now it's got a drain hole for that stuff to come leaking out of. Let's go run her through the gears. A big flat spot in it. Well, at least it gets full throttle now. You could barely hit 50 before. You should be able to hit max speed should be like 63 in it. I gotta slow down for traffic though. That's pretty good. The wind's really pushing us around. Buses don't like crosswinds. It pulls the hill alright. Accelerate uphill. Compared to what it was like, you should be much happier with how much power it has going down the road. Hey, that's it guys, I did a test drive on it and everything seems to be decent. Nothing is popping out that it's screaming it needs attention. It does need, you know, more work done on it, but everything does, right? Gas door is open. So with that, I want to thank all you for commenting, watching, subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya. Think you guys ever saw a chicken that looked like that, huh?
Oh.